Everybody?
Sure, Mike. Yeah, I think we're mostly here. So, good morning, everybody. I think I know most people. I'm Mayor Schulman with the Hartford Foundation's Nonprofit Support Program, and want to officially welcome you to our second SEA knowledge sharing session for this cohort, which we're calling the Fabulous Four for good reason. So, if you could take a quick moment and rename yourself, if you know how to do that, to add your organization name, just so that we know who's in the Zoom room. And no worries, if you don't know how to do that, we can jump in and do that for you. So joining me from the NSP team today is Monica. Always special thanks to Monica for helping to plan and manage logistics, not for just for the session today, but all of the behind the scenes work that has to happen. So big thank you to Monica. And I see that Tracy Ressler from our team has joined us as well. So we are very eager today and excited to hear what you all have learned through your business planning processes and your implementation thus far, so that we can learn from all of you as you kind of continue on your, social enterprise journeys. We realize that it hasn't been all that long since your organization started working with Mike and Larry to develop your business plans for your earned income ventures, and obviously also with Sarah. And we want to take a moment just to acknowledge each of your teams for all of the hard work, dedication, perseverance that we know goes into a highly labor intensive initiative like this. So thank you for all that you've done in such a short time. This group has already generated a pretty impressive amount of revenue in this short period of time. And at the same time, I kind of want to acknowledge that the four organizations in this cohort come in different sizes and types and have a range of capacities to undertake an initiative that's intensive like this. So inevitably, we know there will be challenges along the way, especially for smaller organizations, and we really applaud your dedication to this work as well. We are excited to hear about the progress that you've made on your plans and your ventures. And during today's session, we really encourage you to share, the good stuff, the bad stuff, and even the ugly stuff, because we know that this isn't easy and there will absolutely be ups and downs along the way. That's normal. And I think we kind of often learn the most from our challenges. So please feel free to share those openly. We will be, as always, emailing you a short survey following today's session, asking for your feedback, real quick and easy to fill out, but also a question on your venture planning work with Mike, Larry, and Sarah to date. So please just take a couple of minutes and fill that out. It's very helpful to us to hear how we could improve. And of course, I want to, as always, thank Mike and Larry. They're always so dedicated and caring about this work and so thoughtful. And also Sarah, our wonderful fundraising consultant, for the support and assistance that she's providing to all of your organizations. So I guess that's all I have, and I look forward to hearing from all of you. And Mike and Larry, I'll turn it back to you.
All right. Thanks, Mayor. Welcome again, everybody. Let's just do a quick Zoom photo before we jump into the slide deck. So if everybody can at least be on screen if you're not at the moment. And at the count of three, let's all smile. Hopefully we won't get any blinkers. I'll do a couple of pictures just to make sure that nobody is blinking. Okay, so one, two, three. Okay, let's do one more. And one, two, three. All right. I think we're good there. So with that, I'll share my screen, get into our slides, and away we go. So hang on, I'm going to go into slideshow mode. All right, as Mayor said, you are the fabulous four. Then this is our business plan implementation knowledge sharing session. You've been hard at work for the past 14 weeks, which is hard to believe, on bringing your business plans to life. If anybody wants to share anything on social, please feel free to do that. You know our hashtags. If you do it during the session, after the session, anything is appreciated. So, our quote for the day: running a business is easy. True or false? We know through the blood, sweat, and tears over the course of the past 14 weeks, this is false. So we say, said no one ever. This group as Mayor said, is really a unique group. You bring unique missions. You are unique in terms of your look and feel, your size, your shape, your operating budgets, and we love that. So this tapestry with the Fab Four is one that we all very much appreciate. Mayor alluded to the fact that you've raised a significant amount of startup and growth capital over the past 14 weeks, $258,000 plus. So, a big round of applause for all of you. We do not take this number lightly because, in and of itself, it's impressive, but it's a wonderful testament to each of you in terms of jump-starting your earned income ventures and having that capital to get them off the ground and move them forward. So, an acknowledgement, of course, to each of you, but also to the Hartford Foundation for their generous matching funds that each of you have been able to tap into and take advantage of. So, again, congratulations to everybody. Our goals for today, very simple. You're going to have an opportunity to share your implementation outcomes to date, and we all recognize that there's many more to come, some knowledge and learning, success challenges that have resulted from implementation. And we also love when the cohorts share possibilities for collaboration and partnership. So we're very intentional about that during today's session, and each of you will have an opportunity to do that. And then, last but not least, because you all have moved mountains in a very short period of time, we want this to be a bit of a celebration too for all that you've accomplished. Remember, implementing a business plan takes many organizations and businesses oftentimes a full year to do. You've done a tremendous amount of that work in a very accelerated period of time by design in about 14 weeks. All right, our agenda. We're here until noon. We're going to do quick intros, session logistics. Then each of you can share highlights from your implementation work. We'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll go into our 5 learning and sharing topics, and then we'll do a wrap up. Okay. So, quick introductions. We're going to do this by team. If you could just briefly introduce yourself, your name, your role within the organization, and share a word or a phrase, very short phrase, that captures how you're feeling about your organization's earned income venture so far. All right, a word or a phrase and just a brief intro. So let's start with Charter Oak. I'm going to take us off of screen share. Charter Oak team. All right, introduce yourself and one word or a very short phrase about how you're feeling about your earned income venture. Daniel, you want to start?
Sure. My name is Daniel Nisham. I'm the Director of Operations at Charter Oak, and I'm feeling very optimistic about how far we've come in this short space of time.
Excellent. Over to Donna.
Hi, I'm Donna Berman. I'm the Executive Director of Charter Oak, and I feel very, very hopeful.
Love it. Thank you. Let's go over to Journey Home. Sarah, you want to start?
Sure. I am Sarah Wilson. I'm the Deputy Executive Director at Journey Home, and I am feeling many ways, but I guess eager but uneasy. That feels right to me.
Okay, we get that. You know, it's not always easy going through all the changes
Yeah.
you're going
Yeah.
through.
Yep.
Tina, Journey Home.
Hi, I am Tina Heffernan. I am going to be the retail store manager of our social enterprise. And how do I feel? Let's say long-term results with short-term hiccups.
But okay, thank you. Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle Leeper. I'm the manager of the Hand Up Furniture program at Journey Home, and I am feeling positive about our mission because we've got these great people on board and it's going to all work out just fine.
Good. All right, let's go to Ebony Horsewomen. Should we start with Heather?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm Heather Lawson, Chairwoman of the Board of Directors for Ebony Horsewomen. And let's see, instead of a word, I'll use a quote from Nelson Mandela. It always seems impossible until it's done. And
Love it.
we're far from done. Far from.
Very fitting. Thank you. Tiffany, are you there?
I am here. Tiffany Jones, social media manager for Ebony Horsewoman. I would say very optimistic. I feel
Wonderful.
optimistic.
Thanks, Tiff.
Mhm.
Patricia.
Hi, good morning. I'm Pat Kelly. I'm President CEO of Ebony Horsewomen, and I'm optimistically excited and a little bit nervous also.
We're picking up common themes here.
Yeah.
All right, let's go last but not least to our piece of the pie. Who wants to start? Kim, how about to you?
You're on mute.
Yep. Hi, I'm Kim Johnson. I'm the Senior Director of Development and Strategic Initiatives with OPP. And I'm feeling very positive. We're, studying, going slow and steady, making sure we're doing what we need to do. And it's moving the project forward.
Excellent. Thanks, Kim. Let's see, Sherlyn. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm Sherlyn Puello. I'm the new marketing intern at Our Piece of the Pie, and I'm excited to just learn more about the project and how it's going for everyone.
Thank you, Sherlyn. And Hector.
Yep. Good morning, everybody. Hector Rivera, President and CEO of Our Piece of the Pie. The word for me is excited. In the terms of potentially being able to share our knowledge, experiences, and expertise with others.
Wonderful. Thank you, Hector. Did I miss anybody? No. All right. Then back into the slides we go. Thank you all for the quick share. All right, Larry, over to you.
Yeah, let's talk about our process. Very similar to our last info session or last time we got together. You're going to share some business plan highlights. All of you have put together a really great PowerPoint presentation. Keep it to 10 minutes, please. We have a lot to go through today, and we just want to make sure that we can get through everything. So 10 minutes max. Then we'll jump into our learning and sharing topics. We have 5 topics. We'll do one topic at a time, and each team will share a minute or 2 or 3 minutes per talking point. So a lot to go through in a very short amount of time. So things to consider. During business plan implementation, you're all at various stages of implementing your earned income strategy. Learning, there's some similarities and some differences in how you're learning and moving forward. There's learning curves, just we all have learning curves, right? And opportunities. There's opportunities for partnership and collaboration amongst yourselves and obviously with other nonprofits or even for-profits or government agencies externally. But think about internal right now amongst yourself as everyone's kind of sharing and learning. So we're going to dive in to the presentations which you've worked very hard for. We're going to go from the bottom up this time instead of the top down. So OPP is going to go first. And I did give Kim the heads up, which she was happy that I did that. So Mike, if you can turn it over to sharing. And Kim, if you want to pull up your deck. It's been great to work with your team. And I'm looking forward to having you kind of share all the work you've done to date.
Hey, see, everyone see this okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
See. All right. Beginning. All righty. So, we're celebrating our 50th anniversary. And so it's been a sort of crazy time going forward. You see our logo we're using. One of the themes, though, is legacy of leaders. And I think that goes really well with our piece of the pie social initiative. Our team that's been working with this is Hector, who you've met, Shonda Robinson, our COO, myself, Lillian Bertram, and she's not available because she's at a training. And Megan Griffin and Armando Jimenez. And he got called to an emergency meeting at work, or he would be with us. And so one of the things that's changed as we've moved forward during the course of this is we have updated our mission. And so we've included the "and life" with that mission. Then this will be one of the challenges that we'll talk about as we go along. We've used OPP University within our internal communications with no problem. When we added it with some social media, and we're talking about offering it at a cost, we got a call from the state letting us know that there's a statute that limits the university use of that term. So we're in the process. Sherlyn, our marketing intern, is updating that logo as we speak. Just wanted to go through a little bit about what we're doing with OPPU, and it really is just a transformational social enterprise in terms of what we're trying to do. It's taking the internal knowledge that we have and then trying to put it with other providers so that they can gain from that too. And some people have, said back to us, well, you're sort of sharing your secret sauce with the competition, but we truly believe that the stronger our collaborators are, the stronger we are. And because we truly depend on collaboration, it makes sense. And we're trying to move the whole industry forward. And so trying to make that happen is important to us. So our implementation steps. First, raise startup funds. We're still in the process. We're pretty far along with that, but we've got about 20,000 more we need to raise. Building our toolbox. We're actively working on that piece right now, and then securing contracts will come after that. In terms of where we were, hold on one second, so I can see my whole slide. We got board member support to help make it happen of $6,000. A private donor was $7,500. The foundation's $20,000, and then a foundation's $20,000, which is a foundation we have a history with, and they bought into what we were trying to do because they also care about more than simply what OPP is doing, and then the match. And so we are continuing to seek ways to raise the additional funds. One of the things that we did to raise the money is we went in on our supporter newsletter and put in a piece that you can see is highlighted here about OPPU and what we're trying to do with a direct link. And in the same page, we also highlighted Shonda, who started OPPU, so they could see that rich history behind it on the same page. Then we took our website, and instead of just having a general website donation page, focused it strictly on OPPU so that people could see, just a little bit more, just if they went to donate, that was the first thing that they saw. And so basically what we did with the fast pitch is same fast pitch everyone else did with people in person. Then we added one where we did it online for people who couldn't make it there. Following the fast pitches, we followed up with interested parties. We reached out to donors, asking them to direct their gift. So if it was someone who traditionally gave to us, we asked them to consider giving to this project. And then one of the keys for us was we had a board member, Armando, who was really championing the initiative to other board members. So it wasn't coming from the development office as much as it was coming from one of their peers. Our first step was curriculum development, and that's what we're working on right now. We put out a request for proposal. We sent it to people that were referred to us and people that we knew. We also put it on social media. You can see the social media posting there. We received 7 proposals for the project, reviewed the proposals to determine the top 3. We're in the process of securing references on those top 3, and we'll make a decision and notify each of the people by October 31st. Our curriculums within that RFP are to be developed by December 31st. And those that we move forward into the top 3, we're all able to make that delivery point. So one of the things that's happened is we had to adjust our timeline. We were committed to not putting the RFPs out until we had the money that we would need to pay someone to contract. So while our original date for the curricula being completed was October, that moved to December. Our startup funding raised moved from August, and now we're saying January. We'll use some of our end of year campaigning to try and bring in that last bit of money. Market to target organizations. We really want to wait until that curricula is in place and we feel like we've got something to put out there that we can deliver. So from November to February, with our first consultant contract moving from January to March. And, you know, we couldn't have done this without everybody else helping to make it happen. So we appreciate Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, the Sarah Leonard Group, and the No Margin, No Mission. I think one of the biggest things for us was saying, let's be slow and steady in terms of what we're doing. And it's worked well for us. Any questions?
Thank you, Kim. It's great. And you were 8 minutes. I just have to say that. Congrats.
Well, you said keep it under 10. So.
I know. I love that. And you went through all the information. Mike, did you have a question?
I do. Nice job, Kim, and to your team. You guys have obviously made good progress. Do you want to take it off of screen share?
Sure.
So just a question. When you started out, you said that you're likely going to have to change the name from OPPU or OPP University. It's a great name, obviously. Do you guys have another name that you're looking at right now, or is that TBD?
No, we're still planning to use OPPU, but not university. And we'll be talking about putting the U in youth development.
Got it.
So
excellent.
Didn't want to move away from that, but we are pulling the university piece.
Got it.
And you know, we know a lot of people use university internally, right. And I think my understanding is the catch was that it was something external customers were going to pay for. And so that's where the statute came to play.
Okay. And I think when you have state contracts, right, you don't want to get the state on your back at the same time and jeopardize any funding that might come down. So, yeah.
So, Kim, is that your logo, or is that a working logo at this point, or?
The logo that we put up there is, it says it'll be changed in the corner. Sherlyn is working on that now. And so we're pulling university. We're trying to keep as much integrity of what we had to start, but hopefully within the next week or two, we'll have it, certainly before we do the external marketing.
All right. Any other questions for Kim or the team? Good. Congrats. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good. Let's move on to the second group, to Journey Home, and I will turn it over to Sarah.
Yep. Great. Thank you. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. What is going on? Of course. Hold on. There's always a thing, right? There we go. Can everybody see?
We can.
Yay. Okay. So, we're delighted to be here. We have some members of our team here today. Michelle, Tina, who you met, and then these pictures, Todd's here, John, and Michael. And Michael is in this picture with me on the bottom right. Michael Fishman is sort of our hero right now because he has helped in so many ways through this lease negotiation and now construction project. So Journey Home's mission is to ensure a home for all. So we are the coordinating body for the homeless response system in the capital region. We do all sorts of things at Journey Home. One of the programs we have is a Hand Up A Hand Up is essentially a free furniture bank, and we serve folks in the whole capital region. We provide we collect furniture that people are donating, and we store it in our warehouse, and then through the use of incredible volunteers, we have about 800 to 900 volunteers a year, we deliver the furniture to folks moving from homelessness into housing. September, Michelle, how many clients did we serve in the month of September?
It was
I
like
can't remember.
50. It was an incredible, more than we ever did, because we had so many volunteers.
So many volunteers. So it's an incredible program that's only growing and thriving. This social enterprise has grown out of A Hand Up. Essentially, we realized we had a lot of goods that we could not use for our clients, and we thought it would be really cool if we sold them in the form of a thrift store. So our mission at our thrift store is to empower our community by promoting sustainability, providing affordable goods, creating meaningful job opportunities, and funding programs that really uplift those in need. And here is our beautiful logo. And as you can see, it's very consistent with our organization logo. And our friends at Adams and Knight actually did all of this work. They did the naming and the logo for us pro bono over the summer. And we're delighted with the results. So what is Home for Good? It is a social enterprise that will allow us to create more sustainable funding, a space that will allow us the opportunity to expand volunteer experiences. And what we mean by that is we have a lot of volunteers, as I said, but we have a lot of volunteers waiting in the wings who can't move furniture, and they want to be involved in another way. And this store, the model of this store is to have one retail manager, and then all store shifts are covered by volunteers. It's very similar to the 10,000 Villages model. A chance to create another opportunity to say yes to our furniture donors. Michelle is responsible for saying no a lot, because we can't take that cool desk or that really pretty hutch, because it just doesn't, it's not suitable for the one room or one bedroom small apartments that many of our clients move into. We also are hoping to have a place for the community to shop for reasonably priced items, and reducing waste and environmental burden by giving pre-lived items a second and third life, or a third life, to rather than just sending them to landfills. It's amazing to me when I look around at our warehouse, and now when I start to look at our inventory that we're building, that a lot of these things probably would have ended up in a landfill if we weren't an option for folks. So our implementation focus over the last few months has been naming and branding, as you saw, signing a lease, which took 2 months of lease negotiations. It was not easy. And I thought, oh, once we sign the lease, we're good, we're golden. Well, that is not true. We hired our first staff member for the store, specifically Tina, who's on the call. She's our retail manager. And then we also we increased hours for our development coordinator. And so she is now taking on the role of development and communications for the agency as well as the thrift store. She was part-time and we moved her to full-time. So it was great, actually, because we had only budgeted for a part-time marketing person for the store, and now we have somebody on who's already has institutional knowledge, who knows our work, and so it was a great fit. We're raising startup capital, still doing that, and the most fun of all is our store build out. So we'll get into that a little bit. Oh, and then the marketing and communications, which we're really very focused on. And we have we have a pro bono marketing professional who's working with us right now. She was head of marketing and communications for Connecticut Public for a number of years, and she's now meeting with us once a week to work on our marketing and communication strategy. So our startup capital, we've raised 60% of our startup capital with $104,000 raised so far. It trickles in, we get a little bit every day. But yeah, it's great. I just need a lot more. So we have $72,000 to go. Oops. And we just actually, I put this little visual up because we just created these cards. Andrea, our marketing person, and Tina put these cards together because we are starting sort of like different strategies for continuing to raise this money. We have been stalled a little bit because we haven't had a lot of updates and news to share, but now that construction is underway, we're feeling like, okay, we can kind of revisit this. We did have an incredible incredible attendance at our fast pitch back in June, and then we held a second virtual one in July, and we actually have a third fast pitch that's scheduled for October 30th in person at our store location, so people can come see with their eyeballs like what it looks like, what the store looks like, and it's still like very much under construction. We hired Tina. Tina has 20 years of experience in retail merchandising, and we're just thrilled. She's also learning about construction projects and being a general contractor, so that's cool. And then here's Andrea, our development and communications manager. So our location, we have signed a lease at 591 New Park Avenue. Our warehouse, well, I will. So it's 3,000 square feet of rental space, and it includes a loading dock, a receiving area, office and break room area, and showroom. It checked all of the boxes of what we needed inside the store. It was a little smaller than what we were hoping for originally, but I think the size is right given the risk involved in opening a new retail business. It is a former machine shop, and it's located in a transit-oriented development district. So this district in West Hartford was sort of set aside. It's right on the fast track, and it was set aside as sort of an intentionality around mixed use development. And there is a desire to take a lot of these former industrial spaces and create retail space. As far as I know, and I've done a lot of research, we are the first business in this TOD to actually take an industrial space after it's been rezoned and convert it to a retail space. So while that's super exciting, like it sounds great, if you can imagine what my meetings at the town of West Hartford look like, it's like hair pulling. Because there's a disconnect, you have no idea. I know so much about ADA and things I don't want to know about. We need a lot of construction to convert from industrial to retail. And the reason we got so hung up on this particular space was that it is next door to our furniture bank. So it's you couldn't even get a better location. Our truck can pull in and drop stuff off at the thrift store on the right and the furniture bank on the left. It's just such an incredible time saver. The price was also right, like half of what we budgeted for. And retail, as some of you know, is very, very expensive. This is
You have a
our sort
minute.
of,
You have a,
okay.
you have a minute, Sarah.
This is our dream board, our store design. So funky and fun. This is some of the inventory that we have collected so far. And we continue to spread the good word. We've got some followers on social media. We have the website. I know Kim talked about that. We have we have a page dedicated to that. And we have a lot of subscribers to our email list, like I think close to 100 by now. Big thanks to Hartford Foundation, No Margin, No Mission, Larry, Sarah Leonard, our board staff and volunteers. Everybody's making our big dreams come true.
Great. I'm so glad the lease is like still signed.
The lease, yes. Well, it's very hard to get out of a commercial lease. But
It's a story for another time. Yeah. Great job, Sarah. And it's been very fun to work with the project. Any questions for Sarah or the team? Mike.
I have a quick question. Sarah, really nice job. Obviously, you guys have moved mountains in a short period of time here. The location, so you said it's near your warehouse, the Journey Home warehouse. Is it like a walking foot trafficy type area, or is it more a drive to destination, or both? I mean, I know West Hartford has a lot of like walking traffic, but I don't know if it's because it's industrial, it's more of a drive to destination.
It's not a walk. It's not there aren't people walking around on Saturdays browsing. It is because it was a former industrial
Yeah.
location. Those so if I took this store and moved it to the walkable area of West Hartford,
Yeah.
it would probably be $20,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right now I'm paying $3,000.
Got it. Got it.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
so the cool thing though is there's a lot of traffic that comes to our warehouse, and this is the design district in West Hartford. So like the floor store, the Tile America,
Yeah.
there's a consignment store across the street that's very high end consignment, different. They actually are probably going to give us a lot of their stuff that they can't sell. Tina and Michelle have started a relationship with them. So while we're not going to have like walkable
Yeah.
shoppers. I think the hope of West Hartford is that eventually that district will be. That's the whole point of the district. But my argument to the town of West Hartford currently is if you want it to be like that, you need to help businesses with some grants and some funding to get it there. So we're kind of charting the path. I mean, I've been on a tear. Like I have met with legislators over this. I have sales tax things
Right.
going on. I have all these other things that I'm working on as I'm doing this, but
Well, one thing
I'm
just to keep in mind is, and this is just one of those suggestions that we've learned about over time, is think about if the town of West Hartford will let you put like feather flags and nice signage that's either around the building or leading up to it. It's a great way to encourage traffic to come and check you out. You know, direct
yeah.
signage,
They
feather
have so
flag,
many
whatever.
yeah. I'm sure that they don't technically on the books allow that. Well, I know you can only have a sandwich board up for 24 hours. I mean, I've read all the ordinances,
Okay.
but
Wow.
nobody enforces it. I mean, that's the thing. So we have to decide what risks we want to take. I mean, I have to get a permit to put a tiny little sign on the building, and it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks for them to even review the permit application to tell me that it can go to the next step. This is
All right. Good luck with that.
Well,
All right.
thank you, Sarah. It's great information, and it'll be done. It'll be open sooner than later.
yeah. 6 months.
Exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Mike.
All right. Let's go on to the team from Ebony Horsewomen. And I have your slides, so I'll pull those up. And then should I turn it over to you, Pat, or
No, I'm going to start, Michael.
Heather?
I'll do the first 10 slides, and then Mrs. Kelly's going to bring us home.
All right. So let me bear with me for 1 second while I pull these slides up. And I will turn it over to you, Heather. So, okay. I guess I lied. I thought I had this open on my computer, but bear with me a sec. All right. Okay, I do have it, and I'm going to share the screen right now and go into slideshow mode. Can everybody see this?
Yep.
All right, Heather, take it away.
Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. Really excited to be here again with the Fab Four. We are just floored that it's been 14 weeks already, just like Michael said, that it's been a whirlwind. But as everyone else, we're proud participants in this program and project. So we're excited to tell you what we've been up to. You know us, Mrs. Kelly is our founder and CEO. I'm the board chair, and then we've got Tiffany Jones on, who's our marketing and social media manager. And so, our mission is we provide equine therapeutic modalities and a host and array of other services and programs to empower and transform lives through the powerful connection between humans and horses. And our earned income venture is the Black Boots Venue Rentals. It is a tented venue space that will be housed on our Ebony Horsewomen campus in the heart of the north end of Hartford. And so we selected this venture because we know that there's a gap in the market and we offer something pretty unique for the city. While other folks want an indoor space, want a space where they can park and go inside a building and have hardwood floors and all those things. We know that folks also want a nature-based option, right? And so our historic, really beautiful and convenient location in the heart of Hartford offered that. So with our location, we'll have not only the indoor space that some folks who are in the market for venue rental will want, we also have outdoor space options, indoor arenas, a museum, which we'll talk about a little bit a little bit later, and we also have other outdoor spaces, including park space, our riding rings, and so forth. We will be providing a renovated state-of-the-art facility and also offering a la carte equine services like hay rides and pony parties and so forth. And the bookings will support our overall mission of providing equine therapy to the community and the region.
Whoops, sorry.
And so we've been busy, like everyone has been. And what we've been focusing on in terms of our implementation has been completing the totally indoor portion, I should say, of our venue rental business. And that's the Mary Fields Museum. It's the first museum of its kind that focuses on Mary Fields, who's also known as Stagecoach Mary, and her contribution to the West, and also talking about Black cowgirls and cowboys who settled the West, but also who exist today. It's a beautiful museum, brings in a lot of history, and also includes a kitchenette area, bathroom facilities, and other options for hosting meetings and so forth. We've been focusing on raising our startup capital, which has taken sort of a different approach, I think, than maybe the other organizations will see. But we've also focused on purchasing needed equipment, building out our rental infrastructure in terms of what we offer, the times that we're going to offer rentals, and who we're going to work with to do that. And then also working on our marketing and communication strategies. And last but not least, we've been booking rentals and events. We have had parties, birthday parties, and we've also booked some other events for local organizations. So I mentioned a little earlier about our museum grand opening. We opened a few weeks ago. It almost feels like a lifetime ago because it was such a Herculean task. But we opened the Mary Fields Museum on October 3rd. We had a really great reception. People got to see what could be part of the venue rental if they book Black Boots, by walking the space, experiencing the space, understanding what accommodations we have also for food service, and our facilities, projection facilities and so forth.
Sorry.
That's okay.
There we go.
So that was a big deal. And that's actually, sort of, it was important. We had to get it done. We had a hard date for the museum grand opening. We had advertised for it. And so really a lot of our small but mighty team's focus was on opening the museum. And that took us away. Just, you said you wanted the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we'll talk more about this later, but that did sort of take us away from a lot of the boots on the ground work that we could have put into Black Boots rental because we really had to get this open, and it is a companion property to our venue rental business. So we can go on to the next slide. But we have raised some startup capital, and as like what I mentioned in my opening quote, it's always seems impossible until it's done, and we're not done yet. But we have raised nearly $20,000. And with that money, we've been purchasing needed equipment. We need a shed. And so the picture in the middle sort of captures that. This is actually a picture of what we're looking at for the property. We need to store all sorts of things, tables, chairs, linens, equipment for the rental space, because it is going to be a seasonal rental space. It is a tent, but a luxury tent, right? So when we have winter weather and off season, then we're going to need to break that down and store it somewhere. So we need a secure building. So we've been in the process of purchasing that, and also other smaller equipment like audiovisual equipment and a sound system. And let me just check. Oh, okay. So my last slide is we've also been focused on getting our infrastructure in place in terms of our forms, our documents, and contracts and agreements. So as I mentioned earlier, we've already been booking rentals in our museum. We did it before the grand opening, and we've secured some rentals since, and a lot of those have been birthday parties. So we've created our standard contract for doing that, and we've also created our standard contract for Black Boots venue rental when we get that up and going. So we're ready to go there. We've got a lot more work to do, but we felt that it was important to get our necessary contracts in place as we move forward. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Kelly.
Thank you, Heather. So, just to kind of piggyback on what Heather said, this has been a lot, but with the mighty team that we have, we were able to get through. So we're spreading the word. So we have a great social media manager, Tiffany, who's done a tremendous amount of work on a landing page on our website that kind of gives anyone who's seeking venue rentals a really good idea of what's available now and what's going to be available when we actually get the tent up. We have to understand that a lot of the emphasis right now is going to be on renting the museum because we're almost going into winter weather. And when we're talking about putting the tent up, it's more than just sticking stakes in the ground. We've got to prepare the site with cement, leveled engineering stuff. It's a lot. So knowing that we're almost into November, it makes no sense to do that. So we're preparing to have it ready for early spring to get that up. So a lot of the awareness out now is building that visibility and awareness that this is coming. But in the meantime, we still have a venue rental space that's available. So we've been booking parties. As Heather said earlier, there is a lot of business out there for venue rental. But when you talk about adding horses and being outside, particularly today when people are looking for something holistic and a little bit more nature involved, so we're the guys, we're the women that have this stuff. So it's been really, really interesting to see the interest that we've gotten to book something that has horses involved. And so we've had 2 birthday parties, we had a celebration, and we have a sorority that has booked right after Thanksgiving, which is going to be interesting for many of us who are trying to clean up after Thanksgiving to go right in and do this rental. But we're happy about it, so it's a great thing. So these events are coming again because we got horses. And we're looking forward to the second part of this, which is going to come in the spring. Like Heather says, it seems impossible until it's done. And in my mind, we're going to get this done. We're going to get this tent up, this luxury tent up in the spring, and it's going to be fabulous. That connected to the museum is going to be what we've been hearing from people looking for something different. So this difference is going to be ready. We're saying it, it's going to make it happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So it's going to happen. So the appreciation that is outstanding. I have to say that our board and our staff, whew, they are amazing. They are amazing. When you give them a task to do, they can come through. Our donors have been outstanding as well. Many of them who have already donated for other stuff, adopt a horse, sponsor a kid, they've come back in again to donate for the venture. So that's been wonderful. The Hartford Foundation is absolutely amazing. We've been working with the Hartford Foundation since 1993. And they have been our steady partner for that long, and we appreciate them so much. Larry and listen, no mission, no mission, no margin, no mission. I don't know about the other guy, but my guy, Mike, there's none like him. None like him. He has given us such an insight on things that we hadn't even thought about. And so it's been absolutely wonderful. And Sarah, outstanding, just wonderful and patient. My God, this woman is a saint with us. She needs a medal because she has endured with us when we were just trying to get stuff done. So we thank all of you very much. And my special thanks to Michael, because he's just one of a kind. I just have to say that. So yeah, we still have this special offer, but this special offer is going away pretty soon. It's now 20%. People come in and want to do it now, but pretty soon that's going to be gone, and we're going to be doing something straight out. So again, thank you, everybody. Are there any questions?
First of all, thank you, Heather, Pat, Tiffany, nicely done. If you haven't been to Ebony Horsewomen and seen their incredible grounds, their facilities, and what they do, I urge you, go. It's really remarkable. And the new Mary Fields Museum is a wow. So anybody have any questions or comments or follow-ups for Pat, Heather, or Tiffany? Okay. Go ahead, Donna. You're on mute.
Question. Was that the building that you have for the museum, was that already there? Or did you build that?
We built that. That's a new building.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's remarkable. Really, really, really well done. And I know how the blood, sweat, and tears that went into actually that renovation was remarkable. And Pat, Heather, Tiffany were sharing video and photo images of it as they were doing it. And it's quite remarkable. All right. And so if nobody else has any comments or questions, then let's go over to Charter Oak Cultural Center. And let's see, Donna and Daniel, you're going to pull your slides up.
Yeah, and I'll just start and then I'll turn it over to Daniel. Can you hear me? You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, first of all, we are so honored to be a member of this cohort. I love the fabulous four, right? Fab Four, yeah. And we just wanted to say that this has been a profound experience for us, and we're really so grateful to Larry and to Sarah, and of course to Mike and to Mayor and all the people, the good people at the Hartford Foundation. We've really learned a lot, and we're very, very grateful. And Daniel, I'm going to turn it over to Daniel. We've had a lot of ups and downs and curves, and we're inspired by all of you. So I'm going to turn it over to Daniel now.
Thank you, Donna. So we'll start off with our team, which includes Rabbi Donna Berman, Michael Oxman, myself, and our board chair, Barbara Vita. And I realized that we're actually remiss. I think Sarah Leonard should be on this page because she's been so instrumental in helping us navigate our fundraising efforts and really keep us from a lot of what we do involves fundraising, and she's been so helpful in keeping us from poaching from our other efforts and really focusing on this one. So thank you, Sarah. The Charter Oak's mission is the work of social justice through the arts. And our earned income venture is going to be Bienvenue Rentals at Charter Oak. Charter Oak is now a 2-building campus. We have performance spaces, classrooms, gallery spaces, meeting spaces, both indoors and outdoors. And we know we're gonna be able to offer a variety of different events, from meetings and retreats, weddings, and then probably real creative ways to use the space as well. Teaching artists who might want to use it as a classroom space for reoccurring rentals. So we're really excited about all the different possibilities that this space offers. In addition to that, we're looking at adding on additional programming with our teaching artists that we've cultivated through our City School of the Arts. So if someone rents a space for a board meeting, we can also offer additional programming that might enhance that meeting. Our focus on implementation so far, as Donna mentioned, we've hit some unexpected delays in construction, and our entire venture depends on being able to rent the space out. So originally, our timeline involved renting this building, which we just recently acquired by now, starting in the fall. And as is the case with historic buildings, you open up walls and there's surprises all over the place. So while our original time frame was to start renting in the fall, we're now pushing that back to early 2026 for this building, and then hopefully the synagogue towards the end of 2026. So that being said, with these delays, we're doing everything we can to build the infrastructure around the venture so that when these spaces are available, we can just turn the key and start renting immediately. So we've started by raising startup capital. We've raised $71,000 so far. We've got about $30,000 to go. We put together some agreements. We've tried to cultivate partners and vendors. We're looking at staffing, marketing, business development, and finally renovation and construction, which has just eaten up so much of our bandwidth on this one. Now, as I mentioned, we've raised $71,000 to date, and we're still actively fundraising. On the infrastructure side, we've begun building agreements, including a rental intake form to get information from potential clients. We also realized that we needed curated rental agreements for the different scopes of these rentals that we're looking to book. Something like a wedding will involve a very detailed contract, while some of these simpler one-off meetings or recurring meetings might be a much simpler form. We've been doing a lot of work to figure out what neighbors we have in the Hartford area who would be ideal preferred vendors, trying to build close relationships with those individuals and companies. And we're really focused on trying to incorporate other people who have gone through this program, since this is a tight community, and we want to invest in our neighbors and help them invest in us as well. Eventually, we're looking at hiring 2 positions for this new venture, and the first one will be a venue rental manager. At this point, we haven't gone forward because there just isn't, the work isn't there yet, but we did draft a job description. And we've been doing a ton of marketing, including social media teaser ads. Jacques Lamar, who handles our marketing, has been fantastic in putting together these outreaches. We've had a tremendous response from both our donors, our board, invested parties. People who have never donated before have been giving to Bienvenue. It's been really fascinating to see this investment from people who have an attachment to Charter Oak but haven't given in the past. Really felt compelled to support this venture. We're also in the process of constructing a fleshed out website for this. Right now, we've got a landing page that will start to give an overview. At some point, we'll hire a photographer to get some really nice staged photographs to give a reflection of what the spaces will be. But we're doing everything we can to start to educate the public about what this venture will be. Another thing we've been spending a lot of time with is our prospect list. Hartford is full of so many fascinating institutions and so many other nonprofits. And we're really excited to be able to offer this space to our neighbors. And I've personally been fielding a tremendous number of rental inquiries from prospective clients. It's been a little bit of kismet. We started to work on this venture, and as we were doing this, we were just getting these inquiries from people who were just curious about the space, sort of even before hearing about Bienvenue. So it's been really exciting to see that the demand was there before we even considered it as an option. And so our biggest next step is obviously the construction, which has been fits and starts. We're making some progress, but there's a lot of steps that need to fall into place before we can begin the main construction. And Donna's been really active in pushing that through, but there's been a lot of unexpected hurdles. And again, thank you to our donors, our staff. No Margin, No Mission, Hartford Foundation, and Sarah Leonard. We really couldn't do this without you. And we'll open it up for any questions.
Hi, Daniel. Great job.
Thank you.
Great progress, man. So
Thank you.
impressive. My question was, you mentioned developing a prospect list. You said you wanted to be able to offer your services to your partners. So how is the prospect list different than like your preferred vendor list and your the other list that you talked about? I think maybe developing the donor list with Sarah.
Sure. So the preferred vendor list would be other organizations that we would like to recommend to people. So wedding photographers, caterers, people who would be an asset to our renters. The prospect list would be people who would be interested in renting the space. So we're reaching out to community organizations, alumni groups, other educational programs, letting them know that we have this space available to rent.
And when you reach out to them, are you like setting up meetings with them to discuss the space, or are you sending like attachments with your rental agreements and those sorts of things and just saying we're looking to get started early next year and here's what you'd need if you were interested? And it's hard to ask you this, but we're in the same field here. We're doing the same sort of thing. So I'm trying to get a little bit of inside baseball.
Yeah, so really at this point we're trying to avoid promising too much because our timelines are a little bit in flux, but we've drafted several introductory emails that we're going to send out to different groups. So educational groups will get one introductory email, corporate groups will get a different introductory email. Ultimately, our goal will be to have a series of open houses to introduce people to the space. So we're just trying to gauge interest, let people know that it's available, and introduce what we've got, what we can promise so far without real firm timelines.
Got you. Thanks so much. Great job.
Thank you so much.
All right, any other questions, comments, or feedback for Daniel or Donna? And if not, before we take a break, I'm going to go back into our slide deck because we just want to ask, in the spirit of this wonderful group and collaboration, we have a do tell few moments in this session. So is there anybody who wants to either share one thing that stood out to you from these presentations you just heard from the Fab Four and how it might apply to your own venture? And I guess Heather, you actually just did that.
Yeah.
So you were a step ahead. But is there anybody else who would like to share one thing that stood out and how it might apply to your own venture?
One thing that I'm hearing over and over from everyone is that we're all having to learn things that have maybe nothing to do with what we started out in our mission. Like I hear a lot of talk about construction, and I know that in our thrift shop, the build outs, like Sarah and Tina especially, have been learning about permits. I heard the Ebony Horsewomen talking about like the cement slab that has to be there to erect the tent, and it just seems like everyone is stretching, what we are used to doing to make this all work. And I don't know that like how that applies to us, but it makes me feel good that everyone's kind of like experiencing these challenges and reaching to make them all work.
Really good observation, Michelle. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, things happen. This does stretch the teams in terms of what you've been accustomed to doing as an organization, creates some, angst along the way, as we all have heard. But hopefully short-term pain, long-term gain. So we'll all stay in touch, and we encourage you to check in with each other if you have things to share as we go. So uh, let's see. Should we take
Oh,
just
I think
Donna?
Donna
Go
has
ahead.
a comment.
I want to, is okay, Mike?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I just want to say, I felt jealous because you have new construction pretty much. And we have this historic building and we have SHPO and we have, oh my God. So I applaud you for what you have done and what you've accomplished. And I do feel a little jealous because part of the reason that this has been going so slowly is that we have all of these restrictions on us. And as Daniel said, in an old building, you open up the walls and you find all kinds of, funky things. But in addition to that, we have all of these restrictions because they are historic buildings. So, I feel both jealous and I feel really happy for you that you're able to accomplish so much in terms of building. It's very impressive.
Thanks, Donna. All right, we were going to take a 5-minute break, but let's take a 3-minute break just in case anybody needs a quick bio break. And then we'll come back and we're going to dive into our learning and sharing topics. And we'll move things along quickly because we want to stay on our timetable here. So come back in 3 minutes, please. 13 after the hour. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we'll dive into our 5 learning and sharing topics. Let me go into slideshow mode here. So you've all been hard at work doing a number of things, including preparing some talking points for these 5 learning and sharing topics. And we're going to start with the first one, which we called What Worked Best? So the question that you have all prepared some talking points for is, of all the business plan implementation activities that have taken place over the past 4 months, share the 2 that have offered the greatest benefits and explain why. And just 2 or 3 minutes to share. We'll move through these, fairly quickly. And let's start with Journey Home. So what worked best? And I'm going to go off of screen share here. So who's going to share from Journey Home?
I'm going to share about this talking point, about what.
Go ahead.
So really the 2 things that worked best for us were actually the most concrete things. We worked really hard to secure a site for the thrift store, and it took a long time to find, the right place, the right price. And then even as Sarah mentioned, once we did find the right place, there was a lot of negotiations around the lease. So I think that was a little bit more challenging than we expected after finding the place, but we're super happy with the location for all the reasons that Sarah mentioned. Its proximity to our warehouse. It is in the TOD area, which, does have certain benefits. We've got a great price right now. And the other thing that worked really best was also concrete hiring the 2 staff members, Tina, because that's made us more able to share our vision with the general public. Like, she's been putting together plans of what we can accept, what's the store going to look like. So it's helped us with our outreach on social media and other ways. And then Andrea going to full-time, who's doing the communications for the shop. It's just made us more able to get our reality out there and, help garner donations and support.
Nice. Thank you, Michelle. So again, staffing worked best, and the lease process, negotiation, coming to terms and agreement. Excellent. All right. Let's go over to OPP. Who's sharing on what worked best? Kim, over to you. Oh, Kim, you're on mute.
Okay. I think we had two things that really stood out for us. The first was fundraising with a board member, championing the project to other board members. So typically for that kind of thing, we have the like email, the communication, some of the follow-up would be more development department driven, with a board member perhaps saying, yes, this is a good thing to do type piece. And instead we sort of turn that over, and our person who served on this committee, Armando, was the one doing the outreach directly to the board members and talking to them about what he was doing and what he was challenging them to do. And I think just who it's coming from sometimes makes a difference in terms of how it can be messaged. And that went really well. The other piece, excuse me, the other piece that went really well was the RFP process. And that was really looking beyond who we typically have used to do some of the kinds of consulting we were looking for. We were really impressed with the available expertise that was out there, and feeling that the timeline we were putting out there was really feasible based on the proposals that came in. And when we narrowed it down to 3, that was not an easy task. And as we make that decision on the number 1 by Friday, it's going to be a challenging decision because we have some really good people out there who we feel can add a lot of value to what we're doing.
Nice. So, Kim, your 2 things that worked best, again, were using your board to help with your capital raise or to help sort of guide the process.
Mhm.
And then looking beyond your typical consulting pool to identify some consultants who could work on your curriculum.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. All right, let's go over to Charter Oak Cultural Center. So share 2 things that worked best. Daniel, is that you or Donna?
I'll do it, or we can do it together. Is that okay, Tim? Yeah, we can do it together. Well, we had a really nice campaign to raise the money for the Hartford Foundation match, and it was a guitar instead of a thermometer, and people really responded well to that. And we raised a lot of money. I don't know if the guitar did it, but it helped. And now to raise the other $30,000 we need, we're going to turn the guitar into a cello. And we're going to add the levels on. So but it's been really working very well. And just 2 other quick things. One is that Mike helped us kind of dip our toe into social media. And as soon as we put some things up, we got a really positive response. So that was really lovely. And the final thing is Daniel has a really good, he's a really wonderful designer. And he did a placeholder of a logo for Bienvenue. And then we started, talking to a consultant about developing a logo for us. And all of a sudden we realized we have a great logo. The placeholder is actually a great logo. So we're gonna stick with that. So that was really delightful.
Nice. So just again, Donna, your recap is 1, you kind of found this visual mnemonic that you can use or you've been using, and you're going to morph a little bit to communicate about your capital raise. Secondly, you're evolving your social media. And thirdly is you realize that you had the resources in-house through Daniel and his good graphic design to create a logo and a brand identity, and that you didn't have to actually take it to an outside designer. So 3 nice things that worked best. All right. And then last but not least, over to Ebony Horsewomen. What worked best? And is this Heather or Pat or
Yep,
Tiff?
I'm going to take this one.
Okay.
So the 2 things that worked really good for us, really well for us include social media. We realized that people responded positively when we allowed them to imagine what their event could look like at the barn in this space. And so Tiffany did a lot of very engaging social media posts with videos and mock-ups, and we got a lot of likes and shares and comments. I don't know that we've gotten a lot of inquiries yet as a result, but we do know from the analytics that the information about the venue has been shared beyond our initial target range. The second thing that worked really well for us was constantly talking about Black Boots venue rental with people primarily who were on our property for other things. We've hosted trail rides, really big trail rides. We've, like I said earlier, had the grand opening of the museum. We have people coming to the property for therapy and lots of other things. And we never miss an opportunity to talk about what's coming. We found that, again, people respond really well to the nature-based aspect of what we do, being outdoors, being able to walk from this part of the property to the other, being surrounded by park space, and telling them that we're also going to have a luxury tent rental on the space really allow people to dream about hosting their event there as well. So our top two, social media interactions and engagement, and constantly sharing and talking about Black Boots Rental with all of our stakeholders, including our program participants, community members, and others.
That's great. Thank you, Heather. So we're hearing some common themes. We've heard about social media working best for a couple of organizations. And Heather, what you shared about just constantly talking about Black Boots reminds me of something that Sarah Leonard always says as she's talking about capital raise, and that is to, sneeze your mission to everyone you talk to. So you're actually sneezing, about Black Boots to everybody. So again, you can never have enough visibility and awareness. And the fact that you're just sharing and sharing and sharing about it is a wonderful thing. So that is the what worked best. Thank you all for sharing. I'll go back into our slides and then I'm going to turn it over to Larry to introduce the next topic. I can get into slideshow mode here. Okay, Larry.
So not to be a downer, but let's talk about challenges just a little bit. And all of you have kind of had a couple of them and you've shared a little bit about them already. But very briefly, what are the two biggest challenges that you've faced through this business planning implementation process? And what are you doing to overcome them or to address them, if you can? So why don't we start with Charter Oak first? Two biggest challenges quickly, and what are you doing to address them?
Sure, Larry. So one of our biggest challenges is the flow of state funding has been slower than expected, which delayed construction, and then coupled with the State Historic Preservation Office, it's been a lot of false starts. But the one thing we've done to overcome that is that we've got all the implementation activities ready to go, so that once construction is completed, we'll be able to start renting right off the bat.
Cool.
And the second big hurdle we've got is not being able to follow up on the leads and inquiries that we're getting in. At this point, we can't promise anything to anybody. So just trying to keep these people engaged and communicate, our timelines as they unfold is the best that we can do with this situation, and try to make sure that we're keeping these people engaged as we go.
Yeah, it's important. So fundraising, and it really does help make some decisions along the way and what you can and can't do, and then making sure that your potential client list is engaged all along the way. Great.
Exactly.
Let's move to OPP.
So Larry, thank you. I think with any entrepreneurial journey, you're always going to have some challenges, whether they're big or small, right? I think the two that jump out at us, and I know that they're top of mind because we discuss them almost daily. The first was doing our pitches and doing our fundraising simultaneously to facilitate in our 50th anniversary celebration, right? So we've been planning the 50th anniversary celebration for over a year. It just happened that the final stretch coincided with our intention for our social enterprise. I think it wasn't easy for us to run from who we are. 50 years was kind of a big deal. So as we started, mainly me, I took it upon myself, and with help from Kim and her team also, sponsorships were something that we needed to do, right? So when we talking to sponsors, potential sponsors, they also, a lot of them align with the people that we were going to engage with for our social enterprise. So, you found yourself having conversations with people and say, well, Hector and Kim, do you want me to invest in this or do you want me to invest in this? I think there were probably one or two who did both. So we thank you to them. But we found ourselves in a if or and, right? So, I'm so gracious to the team here that we were able to fly past that, and now we have a renewed focus. Once we met our match, we still wanted to continue to engage with potential investors in the social enterprise, but we had to take a leap of faith that we could do both at the same time. So I think the path forward for us now is to recalibrate now that the anniversary event is complete, and re-strategize how we aim to continue to raise startup capital for our social enterprise. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth, and this is from how I feel. Both were equally as important for the organization. So that was our first challenge. Our second challenge came about as the legal and branding issue that we were faced by getting a call from the State Department of Education, right? I know the State Department of Education fairly well. So how OPP got on our radar is still a question that we gotta figure out over time. But the initial concept of OPPU is because we wanted to facilitate it or present it as a learning environment for professionals in the youth field. We didn't intend on butting up against state statutes and restrictions. So we kind of knew that there was no choice in the matter, but we immediately convened to see what were the other options. We had to modify our videos in some place. We had to go and clean up our website and a lot of other things. So I don't think the challenge it impacts our strategy or our path forward. I mean, I don't want to downgrade what we've done with the term over the last three years, but I think what we've come up with is more impactful because it's about the person, right, and not just about the name. So for me,
Right.
and those were our two biggest challenges: the simultaneous fundraising, and then being faced with somebody telling us that our name was out of compliance and potential sanctions if we didn't respond. So
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that call. We had a little discussion about, did a competitor make that phone call? Turn us in. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Hector. Let's move on to Ebony Horsewoman.
Okay, I'll take this one as well. Our number one challenge was capacity. I mean, we are tiny. We're the smallest organization among this cohort. And, we are very small organizationally. So we really felt the squeeze when we were trying to add, yet another set of really important and critical items on our to-do list. So that was really hard. And earlier we talked about opening the museum, but really the larger thing was constructing the museum. When we talk about starting a museum, we're talking about the construction, the design, procuring and curating exhibits. We're talking about promoting the museum opening, getting all the utilities in there. It's a lot, let alone having a grand opening. So to add the fast pitch and to add all of the meetings and other things along with that to the plates of our already tiny team, that was a huge challenge. But because we've been small for a while, oh, I should also say this is in addition to all of our other programs, running therapeutic programs, keeping horses alive. Kind of a big deal. But doing those two huge projects along with our base programming that we provide was a lot. But we've been who we are for quite a while, and so we're accustomed to doing more with less. So we really mobilized our troops once again, redoubled our efforts, and you know, put our shoulders to the wheel, if you will, and just moved it forward as best we could. Again, we apologize for so many missed meetings, Sarah, especially. Um, but you know, we did what we could. And so that was our major challenge. Our first major challenge, capacity. Our second major challenge was the capital raise, you know, given our typical base of smaller donors. We worked with Sarah. We knew that we wanted to work with Sarah, even though it was optional, because we knew we needed that information and the assistance, that invaluable assistance that she could provide. But to be perfectly honest with you, we weren't able to really implement some of the strategies that she gave us, right? So again, it goes back to capacity, right? Our hands were just overfull. But how we overcame that was relying on sort of a crowdfunding strategy where we maximized or leveraged our smaller donor base to raise small amounts, you know, with the messaging that any bit counts. So we had lots of small donations come in from all over the place. Sometimes people would just visit and say, wow, we like what you're doing and we like what we hear about Black Boots. We'd like to donate $50 or what have you. So two challenges, capacity and our capital raise, but we overcame them by mobilizing our troops once again, and then also taking a crowdfunding approach to the capital raise piece of the project.
Great. Thank you. I think capacity is an issue, usually for all organizations that are trying to do earned income at some points along the way, especially the smaller groups. So Heather, thank you for sharing that. Journey home.
Hi, so I would say the two biggest things that we had to overcome were first signing the lease. And as you can see from Sarah's presentation, is we were really committed to the location of the space, although it did take about 8 weeks to negotiate that lease. And then the second piece of it was once we had that lease, our contractors were ready to go. We thought we would progress forward, and then we saw the delays up to 6 to 8 weeks just to get permitting in the town of West Hartford. So I think how you overcome that is really, one, have a clear vision of what this concept will look like in the end. Communicate that directly with your contractors, your landlords, and your board members, and then understand what you can control and what you cannot control. So we cannot control delays and timelines that we're going to face with the town, but what we can control is setting up all those pieces to make the business ready when the time comes. So it's just taking that additional allotment of months to be over prepared, and again also be ready for additional hurdles. We haven't even started construction yet, and we have to just constantly be over prepared for what might come down the road, and we still see changes every single day. So it's just about over communicating but being really confident in your vision and that it will come to fruition.
Great. Great. Thank you, Tina. And just an FYI, Tina came to the fast pitch. That's how they met Tina. And then Tina became a staff person. So it was fortuitous that it all came about. And Sarah capitalized on that right away once Tina was interested. So welcome. Thank you for all sharing. I'll turn it back over to Mike.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Great insights and observations that you've shared. we had another do tell moment here about being stretched too thin, but in the interest of time, we're going to skip this one. If we do have time at the end, we're going to come back to it because it's a good question for reflection. But let's go on to our third learning and sharing topic, which is what we call ripple effects. We love this one because it is, excuse me, your opportunity to share the two most important unexpected outcomes or ripple effects that have occurred indirectly as a result of your business planning implementation efforts. So with ripple effects, the beauty is you never know in advance if they're going to, if they are going to happen, but in your cases, they did. So let's start. I'm going to go off of screen share. Let's start with Charter Oak Cultural Center. Daniel or Donna, who's going to share this one? Ripple effects.
I will.
Go ahead, Donna.
Yeah, Bienvenue ended up being a point of entry for donors to give to our capital campaign and to our programming. It really was like a magnet for new donors and people who were like, oh, that's what you're doing. That's really interesting. We want to support that. So that was just, it's been amazing and it continues. And we're very grateful for that. And the other thing is I want to mention something that Sarah Leonard helped us with, and that is we have a fall campaign, and we were raising money for Bienvenue, and she really helped us kind of think about how we could navigate the two campaigns so that they wouldn't cannibalize each other. And she did it in such a really lovely kind of elegant way, and we're very grateful for that. And it's worked out very, very well. I feel like we've been doing really well with our fall campaign, and donations continue to come in for Bienvenue.
Nice, very nice. So new donors and also two campaigns simultaneously and figuring out how you could do both of them without cannibalizing one or the other. So it sounds like Sarah was very helpful in that regard. So love the ripple effect. Okay, let's go over to Journey Home. Ripple effects. Who's sharing?
That's me again. So we already shared our first one, which was that at our fast pitch, we found our wonderful retail store manager, which was not expected. But when Tina started asking the certain kinds of very specific questions at the fast pitch, I think a light bulb went off in Sarah's head like immediately, and that all worked out very, very beautifully. And then the other aha moment, I'm sorry, the other ripple effect is that when we're spreading all of the news like on our social media and in the newspapers and where people have been hearing about this thrift store, it's renewed the interest in volunteering with Journey Home. So both people interested in volunteering with the thrift store, but also over with our warehouse program. So it's just given a whole new like injection of life into everything that we're already doing, and we're able to grow more. So it's a nice complement of the mission with what we're doing here.
That's great. So two really unique ripple effects. One, you identified your staff member from the fast pitch. And of course, the second one that you just shared, which is really about the volunteers and adding new folks to the organization side and to your new earned income venture, which is a great ripple effect. All right, let's go over to Ebony Horsewomen to share two ripple effects. Who's sharing? Heather?
Okay,
Pat?
so I got that one.
All right,
So
Pat.
it's interesting because 41 years in business, we're still the best kept secret in the area when we're known nationally, but around the corner, it can be a little difficult. Like, who? Horses where? There's no horses in Hartford. Yeah, there are. But when the opening of the museum connected with the Black Boots venue rental hit the Hartford Business Journal and Metro Hartford, that crossed us over into another segment of business, which gave us a lot of exposure and awareness. So that was really cool because now that we're not just community, and folk around the corner, we're into the big boys arena. So they now know about what we're doing. And so that's a lot of exposure that we're going to get that we hadn't had before.
Nice. So visibility, awareness, kind of in the business sector, in the news, and also moving beyond, hopefully moving beyond being the best kept secret in and around
Yes.
the greater Hartford area. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Okay, and last, let's go to our piece of the pie. Who's sharing? Ripple effects. Kim.
Yes. So one of the things that was really good for us, I think, is as we were doing the planning for this project, we were also working on our strategic plan with our board of directors. And so I do think because we were digging so much into the details, the status of where we were, where we wanted to go at the same time, it really helped our board members understand that they could think out of the box, beyond what we've done and really leverage and monetize our expertise. That it wasn't simply what we we're doing internally, but how in sort of to the second effect, but it really builds on that as we were looking at partnerships, and that was a key part of our strategic plan, partnerships and collaborations, and that it was only going to enhance our work if we could equip our partners with tools to provide youth for the future, helping to strengthen those partnerships because we're sort of on the same page then moving forward. And folks have an understanding of what is really essential from our mind with youth development. And then it also just enhanced connections, that as we go in and we work with other organizations, we will also have a better understanding of the other organizations. So when we come to the table together, that connection is an enhanced connection. And that should be able to help us strengthen our work together going forward.
Great ripple effects, Kim. So yeah, again, sort of evolving board responsibilities and roles and getting them to think out of the box. The idea of helping your partners build their own internal strength and thrivability. And then this idea of connections, connections are invaluable. So those are all wonderful ripple effects. Thank you for sharing. All right. So nice job on ripple effects. Larry, let's go to topic 4. I'll bring the slide back up and you can share the next one.
All right. The next one is aha moments, and all of you have had an aha moment or two along the way. So share the most important insights, realizations, or perspective shifts that you have emerged through implementation of your business plan. So you can share one or you can share two. In interest of time, maybe keep it to one if you can prioritize them. So aha moments. Why don't we start with Ebony Horsewoman? What is one aha moment for you?
So there was a two-part aha moment for us. I have to first start off with Hartford Foundation came in and did an amazing video of our area. It was absolutely exquisite. And our social media manager was able to chop it up and make different posts out of it. And that brought in new donors. People were able to now see the beauty of the park, the space that we have available. And all of that was so attractive and so beautifully done that we were able to get more and new donors. So that was our aha moment, that a video from Hartford Foundation was able to spur, this new donorship. So we thank Hartford Foundation for that.
It's great, great. The videos were amazing out of all your organizations. So thank you for sharing that, Patricia. In fact, Mike and I have shared the videos with other foundations because they should be doing that for their nonprofits also. So Mayor,
and
congrats.
also just a shout out to Mike Keogh, who's in the communications department at the Hartford Foundation. He was amazing, really remarkable. So I know with Mayor and Tracy and Monica here, they'll extend those congrats back to Mike because he was very
and Daniel, I like that little dance thing that you did in yours. So
right.
All right, let's move on. Thank you. Let's move on to Charter Oak. Speaking of Daniel.
I'll take this one. Mike was really clever with those outtakes. He kind of didn't know exactly what he was going to use there. So I think one of our aha moments was just as we started to implement this, it opened our eyes to this vast network of potential partners and vendors throughout Hartford, especially other social enterprise organizations such as Persimmon Petals and La Cocina Catering. So it was really this lovely eye-opening moment to realize that we're surrounded by tremendous other organizations, and it's a great opportunity to connect with them.
Great, good. Thank you, Daniel. Let's move on to Journey Home. Aha
Yes.
moments.
So our aha moments were just making sure you communicate the business plan and the process with your leadership and your board so there are no surprises, especially as we move into the phase of a large construction project, realizing that long-term savings might come with really great upfront costs. Being really clear about those adjustments in real time so we all know what to expect.
Yeah, Sarah and I had a few conversations about communications around that. There's always little surprises, right, that pop up. So it's good to keep communicating. Great. OPP.
The one I'll choose is just understanding the extent to which key startup partners, probably our first round of people to use our service, operate through grants that restrict how they spend their money, and recognizing it's important to provide support for grant funding by providing a template and or language to the support organizations as they seek funding for the OPPU professional development. So we feel like our development, in particular our grant writing staff, can put together some things that then they can adapt specifically to their organization, but hopefully it makes it pretty seamless for them to apply to have that funding to pay our fee.
That's great. Well, thank you all for sharing. There was a theme that I heard, at least, around communications and how important communications is along the way, and how powerful it can be if you use it well and use it wisely. So hopefully that's a ripple effect that moves across to your other programs and ventures that you have within your agency also. So thank you all for sharing. Mike.
Good. All right. Well, the last of our 5 learning and sharing topics is one that we always enjoy hearing from each of you to share about, and that is collaboration and partnership. So oftentimes in the nonprofit sector, collaboration and partnership can be a dirty word, but in the case of the accelerator, we love to encourage this idea of collaboration and partnership. So the question is, share which one of the Fab 4 organizations, if any, so certainly not a mandatory, but if any, that you'd like to collaborate with, and explain an idea to work with and or partner with them. All right, so can we start with Journey Home? Collaboration.
Sure, that's me.
All right,
And
Sarah.
I wish I had a creative idea. I
You
don't.
don't have to. You don't have to.
I don't know. And
You
then
don't
Larry
have
said,
to.
"Oh, talk to Michelle and Tina about it." And I never got a chance to
All
talk to
right.
Michelle and Tina about it. So
No pressure here. All right. So we'll go
okay, so I'm
on this
gonna
one.
pass. Maybe
Okay.
somebody else has a fun idea for how they can collaborate with a thrift store. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go over to Charter Oak, and if you have one to share on partnership and collaboration, feel free, Daniel or Donna.
Oh, okay, thank you. Well, first of all, we'd love to collaborate with all of you. We think you're amazing. And but right off the bat, we were thinking that we would love to and be honored to, we'd be proud to collaborate with Ebony Horsewomen. And we had a couple of ideas. Our venue it may be a little bit more formal. Our building, one of our buildings is the first synagogue built in Connecticut. And so the sanctuary would be available for rental. And then we have a building next door that's even older than the synagogue. The synagogue was built in 1876. The building next door is built in 1858. And there are lovely rooms with fireplaces and all kinds of stuff. And it's, you know, it's got this kind of historic ambiance. But we were thinking that maybe we could do some events with you where the ceremony takes place, for example, for a wedding at Charter Oak, and the reception is with you. Or maybe people start off with you and they do some kind of writing, have some kind of writing experience, and then they come over to Charter Oak. All kinds of things we could do. But the other thing we were thinking, we have a school called the City School of the Arts, and we have 1,000 kids in it who study the arts for free with us. And we thought that maybe we could bring our kids over to your beautiful place and have them ride horses and do all kinds of activities that you do. And maybe we could bring arts activities and classes to you, or people, or your students could come to us. But all kinds of possibilities that we're very excited about.
So love the idea. Very cool that you're thinking, you know, in terms of what could you do with another organization. In this case, sort of a competitor, because you guys are both in the same venue rental business, but looking to turn competitors into partners, and how might you do that? So I don't know if Patricia and or Heather or Tiffany have any response to that, but feel free to jump in if you do, and if not, we'll move to the next.
I feel
Yeah,
like I asked you out for a date.
absolutely.
Now we're waiting to see whether you want to go on a date with us.
Listen, competition is not really competition, it's more collaboration. And you know, we do a lot of different things here, and anytime we can refer someone that we can't serve in a manner to someone else, we do that. And because the mission is about saving people, not so much, you know, look at me, look at me, look at me. So there's that collaboration is always there. We would love to have you bring the kids over and meet not only the horses but the reptiles and the other animals that we have here. And then also I'm thinking art therapy. So, you know, that's also an opportunity. And of course, we've done work with OPP in the past. We've had their counselors over in the summer for years. So all of these various organizations, we've got parents. God knows what's going to happen in the country, and people are going to need furniture. People are going to need, you know, items for their homes if they're moving, if they have to move. Journey Home is going to be a place where we're going to say, let's go over there and see what they got. So there is no competition. There's only collaboration. So absolutely 100%.
Love it. So Pat, since Ebony Horsewomen has the floor, do you have a collaboration and partnership idea to share?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Go ahead.
Charter Oak, we accept the date for sure, but we're gonna cheat on you um a little bit and ask out Journey Home. So we actually do have a creative idea to connect, like working with a thrift store. So we wanted to talk about a collaboration between us and you guys. Um, and what we were thinking about was maybe hosting a fun event called Horses and Hand Up. Actually, I just kind of put that in there since you mentioned it earlier. Our first thought was like therapy and thrifting. But either way, some kind of cool name. And it'd be sort of a pop-up thrift store for Journey Home to sell some great items or to give people sort of a sneak peek of what you'll be doing in your brick and mortar, while we give tours of our venue, share information about our rental options with Black Boots when we get it up, and talk about our equine therapy program. And so why we kind of immediately thought about you guys is because there's definitely a link between homelessness and mental health. And as you know, many people suffering with mental health issues have challenges that can make their situation tougher. And that's where equine therapy comes in. And there's a real benefit for emotional healing that can build some resilience. So again, at Horses and Hand Up Day, we would not only showcase what we're both proposing in terms of our earned income projects, ventures, but also create a sense of community and support. And it would be a chance for us to connect with people, raise awareness about critical issues involving mental health and homelessness, and also show how important mental health resources can break the cycle of homelessness. And so it could be like a fun day of inspiration and connection. And I think if we join forces, we could make something really impactful.
Love it. Thank you, Heather.
We love that. I
Yeah.
can tell by
Yes.
my friends.
Yes.
Journey home, you got your idea. So, you sold Heather, you sold me on it. It sounds like you sold the Journey Home team on it too. So
Oh
well,
yeah, for sure.
and then let's go over
Now
to
I'm back to being jealous.
Yeah, there we go. Jealousy. Triple team here.
All good.
So, last but not least, let's go to OPP. Do you have a partnership and collaboration idea or not?
Just specifically within the social enterprise, we didn't really see a natural collaboration, but there may be opportunities for OPPU to utilize space or for one of the organizations to contract us with us for professional development. But we collaborate with all sorts of organizations all the time, but just specific to the social enterprise, that one seemed a little more challenging.
Got it. Okay.
Sounds like you already collaborate with Ebony Horsewoman as it is. So
Right.
with therapy. So yeah.
The good news is keep the ideas percolating, because you just never know when you might wake up in the middle of the night and have an idea. And when you do, reach out to your SEA partners here and share, because you can move it from idea to dating to actual collaboration, and can be a great thing. All right, just so well done, everybody. Let's move to closing out our session and wrapping it up. So what's next? A few things are next. Where we're going to go from here is our social enterprise accelerator work is going to continue, but we now will officially transition from our weekly meetings, in particular on business plan implementation, and we are going to move into our third and final phase, which we call our tracking and monitoring phase. And we'll be meeting monthly rather than weekly. So many of you are probably like ready to, jump up and down and shake your hands, get excited. But what that will look like is the Hartford Foundation is going to support this tracking and monitoring phase of work between all of us for a period of 2 years, starting in November and going through October of 2027. And we will meet once a month for an hour with your core team on Zoom. And we'll work with you all to identify a day and time each month just to get together. And really, we will shift our focus to staying together to support and work with you to see how are your business results tracking versus your business plan, and how is your overall venture moving forward. So that might include looking at your revenue, looking at challenges and hurdles and brainstorming how to overcome them, and also just talking about opportunities that you see ahead. And you might even have some course correction along the way. Okay? I'm going to skip our do tell moment here. Again, we'll come back to this in just a moment to spend a moment, but we just want to take the opportunity, Larry, myself, Sarah, Mayor, Monica, Tracy, the entire team, to say thank you. You are truly the Fabulous Four. We appreciate your work, your participation, your tireless efforts to do what you've done in a very short period of time. We are so proud of all of you. We are so delighted to be a part of this work with you. And of course, a huge round of thanks as well to the Hartford Foundation for continuing to support this initiative. Monica, Mayor, Tracy, and to the rest of the team at the Hartford Foundation, we can't thank you enough, for all you've done to bring this, to this group. So I will take us off of screen share. We will give you all a big round of applause. And again, just we just can't thank you all enough.
Hey,
Now,
Mike, just a
yes,
quick, I'm gonna plug the all cohort session. Great.
yes, yes. Do you want to do that, Mayor?
Sure. I was thinking while everyone was talking about collaboration within this group, I think it's hard actually when there are only 4 organizations to find collaborations, but when you have a pool of 24 organizations, it's much easier to do that. So, just given what we saw in the room today, if you're able to come to the November 6th all cohort learning and collaboration session, it really is a great opportunity for you to learn about what others are doing, how they've tackled challenges, to share your successes, and I think really come away with some great ideas. So to the extent that you can come, we'd love to have you. We'll give you breakfast, we'll give you lunch. It goes from 8:30 to 2:30. If you can come for part of it, we'd love to have you. So please go ahead and sign up for that. And also, we're going to put the survey for this session in the chat. So if you wouldn't mind just taking a couple of minutes and responding, that would be great. And again, thanks again to Mike, Larry, Sarah for all of their hard work and dedication to these organizations. And Mike, do you want to finish it up?
Yeah. Well, so the other thing I was going to say about that all cohort session, don't forget, it's a good opportunity for you to make a tireless plug for your earned income venture. There are going to be a lot of people at that session who could become clients and prospective customers. So don't miss that opportunity as well. Plus, it's also going to be a fun session.
It's the big speed dating session. So there you go.
Exactly. All right, we went 2 minutes over. Apologies. Thank you all for your time, for your work, for everything you do and have done. And we look forward to our continued work with you. Larry and I will be reaching out to you to schedule our monthly Zoom sessions. I think this is the official end to your work with Sarah, right, Sarah? So everybody can give Sarah a big virtual hug and say thank you. And of course, if you need to reach Sarah, you know how to reach her.
Always. Good
Sarah,
work,
you can
teams.
run, but you cannot hide. And with that, we'll say goodbye to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.